A home does not feel luxurious because every object is expensive. It feels luxurious when scale, light, materials, and empty space agree. These 7 design secrets work across living rooms, kitchens, bedrooms, dining rooms, and bathrooms. The first shift is to stop judging products in isolation. Read the complete composition and notice whether your eye understands what matters first. Use 2 photographs for the test, one from the entrance and one from the main seat. A composition that works from only one carefully chosen angle is not fully resolved. The hierarchy should remain understandable as you move, even when a different object temporarily becomes more prominent.
Every strong room gives the eye a clear first stop. It may be artwork, a fireplace, a view, or one sculptural piece. Supporting objects should become quieter as they move away from that leader. When several elements demand equal attention, the room feels busy, regardless of budget. Choose the focal point from the doorway, reduce competing contrast, and let the composition become legible in one glance. Reduce the room to 3 levels of attention: leader, support, and background. Assign every major object to one of them. If too many pieces sit in the first category, lower contrast or remove one. This simple hierarchy makes the room easier to read without making it empty or predictable.
Furniture should relate to the room and to the pieces around it. A small rug, floating coffee table, or undersized artwork can make generous architecture feel unresolved. Use fewer forms with enough visual weight, then preserve comfortable circulation around them. Measure the relationships, not only whether each item technically fits. Correct scale creates confidence because nothing appears temporary or apologetic. Tape the rug, table, and artwork dimensions before ordering. Then photograph the outlines from normal viewing distance. Scale errors are often obvious in a photograph, long before they feel obvious while standing in the room. Correct the relationship on the floor first. Product style comes after the composition works. A luxurious home uses variety with discipline. Repeat an undertone, grain, or metal finish across rooms so the house feels connected. Let one material lead each space and use the others as support. Random samples create visual noise. Controlled repetition creates identity. This does not require matching sets. It requires each new surface to answer something already present in the architecture or furniture. Build a small material board using only finishes already fixed in the home. Add a proposed material only when it repeats an undertone, texture, or level of formality. This prevents each room from becoming a separate trend experiment and allows the entire home to feel collected over time.
Flat overhead brightness removes depth. Combine practical light with lower pools of warmth, concealed architectural light, and enough shadow for materials to show dimension. The exact fixtures can be modest. Their placement and color temperature matter more. Design the evening scene as carefully as daylight. A room feels generous when people, surfaces, and circulation are illuminated without the whole ceiling shouting at once. At night, turn off the central ceiling source and rebuild the room one layer at a time. Notice where faces, pathways, and focal surfaces disappear. Add light only where a human activity or important material needs it. Darkness around the edges can create depth when circulation remains safe and clear.
Luxury often appears as breathing room around a chosen object. Edit small accessories, crowded surfaces, and furniture that interrupts the main sightline. Negative space is not an empty style. It is the contrast that makes texture, artwork, and proportion readable. Before adding decoration, remove one competing item and photograph the room again. The calmer version often feels more complete because the important elements finally have room to lead. Create negative space deliberately around the focal point, not evenly everywhere. A room can remain layered and personal, while one important object receives visual breathing room. Editing is successful when the remaining objects feel stronger, not when the room simply contains fewer possessions.
Curtains hung with conviction, full-height doors, aligned cabinetry, and considered transitions make a home feel intentional before decoration begins. Correct the boundaries of the room, where flooring ends, how curtains meet the ceiling, and whether built-ins belong to the wall. These quiet details are rarely the first thing viewers name, yet they determine whether furniture feels integrated or merely placed inside a shell. Inspect the transitions people touch and cross: handles, thresholds, curtain edges, switches, and cabinet junctions. These details communicate quality through alignment and resistance. Correcting one inconsistent transition can make the architecture feel finished, even when no visitor consciously identifies the reason. Perfectly coordinated rooms can feel anonymous. Add one controlled tension: old beside new, rough beside polished, or a meaningful object inside a restrained composition. Keep the contrast deliberate and singular. Personality becomes luxurious when it looks collected rather than randomly accumulated. The goal is not to copy a hotel. It is to create order strong enough to hold something unmistakably yours. Choose personal pieces for the story they add, then give them a composed setting. Grouping several meaningful objects is often stronger than scattering them across the room. A restrained background lets their age, irregularity, or color become a deliberate contrast rather than visual clutter.
Stand at the entrance and check the room in order: focal point, scale, material repetition, layered light, negative space, architectural finish, and personal character. Correct the weakest relationship before buying something new. One adjustment often improves several others at once. Subscribe to Volharst Studio for design decisions you can see before you spend. A timeless, luxurious home is built through clear relationships, not an endless shopping list. Repeat the test after living with the room for 1 week. Notice where objects migrate, where light is missing, and which surfaces collect unnecessary items. Those behavioral traces reveal what the photograph cannot. A luxurious home supports normal life gracefully instead of demanding that life remain hidden.